Hello, today is Saturday, October 17th, 2020. So a lot of targeted individuals have been saying that you know they're trying to kill me or I'm dying. That's not something to ignore if you're dying or if they're trying to kill you. So I mean if and then they had this person. I was able to spot him as a fake Ti perp, and it's like he tried to talk New Age and Freemasonry in one video, but then another video he acting like he's speaking against and warning against New Age and stuff, and then he trying to tell me that, oh, be careful, they're gonna poison your food and this and that. um it's like I've learned from personal experience that certain narcissistic abusers, what they do is they act like they want you to take the focus off of them and point the finger at somebody else while they're secretly doing more dirt than the person that they want to warn you against and focus on. And then they come to find out, you have to find out the hard way that they're the mastermind behind it. And so somebody on Twitter was like, well, it's true that they do poison our food. They are poisoning our food. I'm like, wait a minute now. I said that it might be true that they're poisoning our food, but you don't get what I'm saying is I can tell that he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He was wearing red and in his uniform. I mean his shirt or whatever. He was wearing a lot of red, and he talks like he's a black Hebrew Israelite and all that. So a lot of fake. I was correct in realizing that a lot of the fake Ti perps are part of this cult. That this, and some people outsiders laugh and say, "Oh, y'all all target individuals. Y'all a cult, ha ha ha, whatever." But I never thought that I personally was part of 144,000. But you can't be part of 144,000 and you go around and perping and gang stalking people way worse than the street stalkers. If you are a fake Ti perp, they're like 10 times more abusive and more traumatizing, you know. So you can't be 144,000. Excuse me. Or you can't be saved or anything. If now everybody act like they're coming out of the woodwork, and even the so-called real targeted individuals be like, well, you're lucky they're not poisoning your food, or watch out, they don't poison your food. And I'm like, why is everybody talking like this? So even the so-called real ones who are victims themselves, and the fake ones too. So that made me scared to even want to eat. And especially when people get off on the idea of calling me fat and greedy, you know. And as I said, other targeted individuals, I've seen them tell me and other people, I'm dying. They're trying to kill me and stuff like that. So, well, it's like some of us become targeted and gang stalked for exposing evil, and especially evil that's done to children, and or any Freemason or whatever. So I finally got that 3 hours long video uploaded, and if you had the patience to watch it all, then thank you. And so I have no reason to over exaggerate or lie, even if it's stuff that I heard when I was 13 years old. You know, I mean, the stuff that they do, I don't see why you would think I'm lying. So I remember a lot of stuff that I heard and some stuff that I've experienced, but I don't remember everything. And some things that might be tucked in the back of my mind, it might come back later on. So it's like I don't even know if I said more than enough or more than people wanted to hear. Because people try to devalue me by telling me, "Oh, don't nobody want to hear that." But the first time somebody says something false about me, everybody's all ears. So that I'm sorry, I keep also sometimes clearing my throat a lot. It can be a Tourette's tick also when I'm nervous or whatever. And it might be part of the forced vocalizations that the perps or, like trying to harass me or whatever. So, excuse me. So like growing up, nothing was, and still to this day, I'm 37 years old. Nothing is any of my business. But everything I do or say, the world has every right to know. And even during my teenage years, I was always questioning why do I always get treated like last priority? Like everybody's more important than me. Everybody has more rights than me. And I remember being 15 years old at West Jefferson High School in Harvey, Louisiana, saying that, what's the use of living? Or what's the point of living? Or, people treat me like I don't deserve to live. And the foster mom, Adrian Felder, twisted my words and falsely accused me of saying, "I don't deserve to live." And then she tried to mock and make fun of me. And then said, "See that right there? They would get get your ass locked up in a mental institution." Because when they had this foster white kid's brother and sister who first came to foster care, and it was a white boy named Brandon, but I don't remember his sister's name. I think her name might have been Ashley, but if not Ashley, then I don't remember her name. But because he was a boy, the foster mom kept him, and then they separated Ashley and Brandon. And so the girl was about 15, and the boy was 10. And that first day, the girl didn't like it in foster care. The girl didn't like it, and just that quickly, they put her in a mental institution, and then she had to go to a different foster home. It's fucked up. And so then, they tried to make like the girl was suicidal or whatever. The girl probably wasn't even suicidal, but I think her being 15 years old and being old enough to know the agendas or whatever, see what's going on. And then they quickly got her locked up in a mental institution and then tried to lie and say she was suicidal. But I don't know. I wasn't there. But the foster mom tried to, how old was I? Could have been 19 years old and going to UNO, University of New Orleans at the time. And they had that boy, Brandon. And so the foster mom threatened me, trying to tell me I'm going to be next, So, I haven't said that in a long time. And I never said I don't deserve to live. I said people treat me like I don't deserve to live. So, I'm 37 years old. I still say that, people treat me like I don't have the right to exist on the face of this earth. I even said the other day, everyone acts like as if they want me to disappear. My own biological sister Ramona act like as if she trying to with a deceitful looking smile on her face, like as if she's trying to push me to commit suicide. You don't do that to your fucking sister. You know, during our teenage years, I used to tell my twin sister, I hate you. You know, during our, and then she used to be like, she hate me, whatever, you know. But it wouldn't have crossed my mind to tell my twin sister, you know, or encourage her to go kill herself, you know, or anybody, you know. It don't even cross my mind to be like, you should go kill yourself. You know, I never in my life told anybody that. And so that's part of the gang stalking, that, you know, they try to get you to go kill yourself, and then they ignorantly laugh and cover their mouth while they, with the narcissistic, over-exaggerated, forced fake laugh, you know. And those ignorant Project Ghetto New Orleans people, they're the worst with the cruelty. I ain't never seen anybody so cruel like them. They do abusive, wicked stuff and then ignorantly laugh like it's so funny. And then after that, you know, like anybody else, I don't even know if it was made on national news. This bisexual gay guy or whatever named Messy Maya, he did everything like a woman, you know, mannerisms, everything like a woman. And then they murdered him. He used to walk around saying, "Who gonna pop me? Who gonna pop me?" And he was about to blow up and become famous or whatever. And he was YouTube famous for a while. His name was Messy Maya, but I don't remember what his real name is though. And so Messy Maya, this is what they do in New Orleans. Like, they shot him and killed him, and then mocked and laughed at him, and then blew it up, and it became viral on social media. And even Tamora Lee Simmons had to step in and say something. You know, she had to, you know, and it was her sympathy or whatever. Since she's a celebrity, the celebrities they don't care. They just like to have that fake good looking image, you know. So Tamora Lee Simmons saying what she said, you know, it didn't even sound sincere. You know, it sounded like she just wanted brownie points just to look good and pretending to fake like she's defending somebody, you know. So it's like that's the kind of cruelty that they do in New Orleans. And so I feel like New Orleans people, black people and the Creole people in New Orleans are the worst. I mean, the Cajun French white people, they have a different kind of arrogance and pride. But in my personal experience, the blacks and Creoles have a certain kind of, this distinct, special kind of evil. This special kind of evil. You know? And they sound like a whole bunch of hyenas and witches when they ignorantly laugh, like like the gay brother Mark, the biological gay brother Mark, be like, and then they be like, like, you heard what she said, like the gossiping and laughing. But if you speak the truth on somebody, very, you was wrong for that. I'm wrong for speaking the truth about what somebody did to me. The harm and abuse that they did to me. Very. You talk about your foster mom, Adrian Felder. You're wrong for putting her on the internet like that. Very. Like, you're wrong for that hoe. You about to get your ass whipped. You know, so, I mean, it's like, I wish I can find, I mean, it's somewhere in my storage unit, but I wish I can find that the foster mom, despite her years of abuse and our reports being silenced and the social workers being abusive and hating our guts, they hated our guts. And, you know, it's like the foster mom could do no wrong, and she was glorified as distinct in their eyes. You know, this hero, or this, she was looked at as higher than Jesus. And, despite being abusive and cruel and choking and beating foster kids, the ones who are seen by society as mentally normal, you know, those are the ones who she treated with favoritism. But us who are considered seen as by society as retarded, and some of the boys she got, you know, who were considered as having bad behavior problems or whatever. The foster mom made like as if the foster mom tried to minimize her abuse. Excuse me. And she tried to show me this foster boy and Larry with glasses. She tried to show all the beatings and bruises and marks on Larry's body from his previous foster care abusers. And they put him in another foster home, but I don't remember him being abused specifically by her. But she tried to make like as if the way other foster kids do their parents. The other foster parents do their kids. It ain't got no. The way that she treated us ain't got nothing on what our other foster parents do their kids. I know that there are worse foster parents than the foster mom, and but she's still bad enough to be traumatized by her. You know, her own sister Mickey is more cruel than her. Mickey is even now the foster mom wouldn't poison our food, but Mickey is even enough. She will poison your food. She will poison your food, and you know it's like I have a right to get my story out and not be ignored, and other victims of abuse too have a right to get our story out and not be ignored or not be silenced or shut up. And you know, everybody think that the foster mom loved us and treated us well, and any abuse, true abuse that we received, that we deserved it. Excuse me. The fake social worker arranged it and set it up to where after we turned 18, I wish this mucus would go away. I'm sorry, y'all. I do not mean to be rude. But I need to get me some healthier fruits and vegetables and stuff. But I I take my fruit and vegetable supplement, but I know that's not good enough. I need real fruits and vegetables. But the foster mom, they really all thought they were invincible and couldn't be sued. And the abuse got worse after we turned 18, and the fake social worker was still controlling us after we turned 18. And the foster mom hated my guts, but so badly did not want me to go live on my own. But she had no problem with my twin sister getting married, having kids, and going live on her own. But she kept trying to keep that control over me and would not allow me to go and get my own apartment. And eventually, I was punished with the silent treatment. And the foster mom was visiting my twin sister after we turned 18 at her place quite often. But when it come to me, she thought she was too good. My twin sister lived in the hood just like I did, but in different areas. But the foster mom tried to make like, oh, you live in a drug and prostitute area. My twin sister did too. But you would love her enough to go visit her every day. But when it come to me, yeah, I don't want to go over there because the foster mom went to my place like maybe once or twice. And then my twin sister was like, well, you let the foster mom smoke in your house. How come you don't let me smoke in your house? Well, my twin sister, she would let strangers do stuff, but then quick to stand up to me. So I mean, it's like the foster mom is, more clever with her evil. Remember what I talked about the other day with the hierarchy of narcissistic abuse. So I mean, um, it's like, so I don't know, these wicked people who get all this praise. I'm speaking out against all of them. No matter foster or biological family, I'm speaking against everybody. Excuse me. So it's like, I'm sorry, I'm nervous right now. I'm nervous because one thing is that as I said, everybody can know all my personal business, but stuff that goes on in other people's life is none of my business, and everybody else can spread my business. And I was over 18, and the foster mom used to be like, "You have no business." And I used to tell her about how she thinks she's owns my personal business, and then she'd be like, "You have no business." Like, as if I don't have a right to have any privacy or any personal business. But she never told me that the police got me under surveillance. But that's something that I could picture coming out of her mouth. Like Alex Dupree was, the police got you under surveillance. And guess what? The stinking Crafts, the Kraft family across the street, they work with the police. And they must be that high and powerful. I don't even know if the foster mom knows. I mean, I know she knows how powerful they are. But I thought she was the most powerful person on the face of this earth that feared nothing and nobody. But she even can feel like submissive and frightened against the Kraft family if she ever spoke out of. I mean, she did, mention about, how Miss Cheryl was prostituting her daughters. And Miss Cheryl was a nasty, filthy whore herself. And I don't even know how old she is, but she's in her 60s or something. And she still try to talk and act like a 19-year-old or 20-year-old thug. So I mean, the Kraft family looked down on us, and the foster mom brainwashed everybody from when we were little, brainwashed them to hate us. Even her friend Jennifer Edwards, yeah, I'm calling all y'all out. Jennifer Edwards from the fake cult Bible class. They're supposed to be related to the fake cult. I mean, the stinking Kraft family too. Jennifer Edwards from the fake cult Bible class, and Miss Lois Corning and her husband, Mr. Harold. Let's see who else. That white lady, Debbie. I don't. What was her last name? Debbie Adams from the Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research, fake IDMR called the West Bank. From all those years of foster care. Fake Cheryl Sonye from the fake cult Bible class, and all those people from the fake cult Bible class. I'm surprised there were a couple of sincere, nice ones. Like Miss Doretha Jackson. We used to say she looked like a dark-skinned version of foster grandma Mildred Collins. But she was like one of the nicest. And the other lady, Miss Evelyn, I don't remember her last name, but she turned out to be nice. Miss Evelyn. But everybody else was mean and fake. Fake Kevin Gugis. And the freaking Kevin Gugis Jr. Kevin Gugis Jr. used to bully, harass, and laugh at me more like gang stalk me in high school. Yeah. Try to bully, harass, and the harassment was endless. And that teacher, Miss Eugenie Gearhart, the slut teacher, who everybody said was a stripper, Miss Gearhart, or then some people say Gearherd. They say she's a stripper teacher, but she was a narcissistic abuser that's highly narcissistic. And my high school GPA could have been higher, but she illegally unfairly took away my honors credit in high school. I ended up graduating with a 3.7 GPA in high school, but it was supposed to be more like a If not 4.7, I don't remember, but it was supposed to have been higher than a 3.7 GPA if she wouldn't have took my illegally and unfairly took my honors credit away. I would graduated 39. I don't even know how come they didn't have a 40th person. I scratched my head and never understood where was the 40th person if, and I was the last one of the honor graduates because they said I graduated 39. My rank was 39 out of 404 people. And the 40th person, for some reason, didn't walk across the stage or wasn't even acknowledged or whatever. I don't know, but I was the last one at 39. But there should have been number 40. But my rank was supposed to have been higher than 40 if Miss Gearhart wouldn't have took my honors credit away. But she sat there and encouraged and allowed Kevin Gugis Jr. and you know, and other kids to bully, harass, and laugh at me. She should have lost her job as a teacher. And she even brainwashed one of my favorite teachers, Miss Spada, who was Albanian. But Miss Spada, she said that Miss Spada was in the military and used to work. She said she used to work for the CIA, but her job was secret. But Miss Spada used to love me. Miss Gearhart brainwashed Miss Spada and turned Miss Spada against me. And yeah, I remember all. I mean, I don't remember everything, but I'm gonna freaking talk today. So I'm talking about everybody. So when Miss Spada got hateful and turned against me, she tried to say that the guy Dwight Harris or whatever his name is, the gay manager at Popeyes, that that he had every right to sue me for slander for report. And I was a 17-year-old child, and she said he had a right to sue me for slander because I got fired for reporting him for sexual harassment. And the foster mom did nothing. And I was blacklisted and blackballed from every other job. But they gang stalked the fuck out of me at Popeyes. And then years later, they had this girl named Crystal. I'm gonna protect her. I'm gonna protect her last name. But she told me in 2018 or 2019. She said that she had issues with him too, and that he did dirty stuff to her too. I thought she was one of their top favorites, and she was getting her 40 hours a week and getting her hours and treated like normal. But I guess maybe after I left, he must have found another victim or more victims. And I used to hear him lock women up in that office and do sexual stuff with them, and he acted like a woman. They used to have a thing in fake Gretna, Louisiana, where narcissistic, abusive black men who are gay, but then they have a woman that they control and abuse and treat her like a punished child and a slave, or keep her on lockdown and control her every move and everything like that. But I believe that was targeted before in gang stalk and set up even before I even started working at Popeyes. Everything was set in place. The foster mom tried to control me so much that she didn't even want me to work. But I don't know. It's just I mean, I'm just releasing my hurt, and I don't want to die in silence. I hope I wouldn't die soon, but I don't want to die in silence. I want to get my story out, and I don't care if y'all call me crazy. Excuse me. But as I said, then he used to have people like this person named Yaneka Makion. I didn't know till years later that she knew the gay brother Mark, or they were friends with each other on Facebook years ago. And she was working at Popeyes with me, and she acted like she knew all my life. And she said, your foster mom, your foster mom get a check for y'all, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, and how do you know me? Like, when I was brand new to work at Popeyes, or maybe even before I started working, like, how do you know all about me? So other people will walk up to me and be like, the foster mom get a check for you, huh? Or they act like as if they know, certain things. Even the Kraft family members, they know certain things about my life, like they know about my life, or other people are informed more about our life in foster care than we know about ourselves. Like John from the Kraft family and a lot of the Kraft family members know more about us than we know about ourselves, and then they keep their personal business secret away from us, like it's what their dysfunctional family is none of our business. But I mean, it's like when I mean, the stuff that they go, their life is more shameful than my life, because they're sold out Masons. But I'm like, how the hell are they sold out Masons if John and one of his brothers, they go into food pantries, food banks and stuff? And I'm like, well, I thought this family was so rich that, and this was in 2018 when I saw them. So happened to see them at the Gretna Food Bank. And then, one of John's brothers, he seemed like he was estranged from the family. And then John even turned his nose up and acted a certain kind of fake and funny towards his own brother, Freddie Jr., at the food bank. I'm like, look at this. But Freddie Jr. talked like he was a strong Christian, like, giving me some encouragement and stuff. But he was in the military. From what I was told, Miss Ali told me that, that Freddie Jr. was in the military. But the other ones, I don't think were in the military. But, so, I mean, it's like, I just don't understand how if people who their life is no better than mine, but, they walk around like they think they're better, like they think they're superior. And, if your child being passed around and raped by or molested by a whole bunch of men, but you don't see trauma, it doesn't traumatize you, and you don't feel broken about that. You just think it's a badge of honor, you know, you think it's a badge of honor, to be 13 years old and all the school knows that you're sleeping with your sister's husband and your sister's husband's nephew that's 19. And by the time we were 15 years old in 10th grade, Lanika bragged about, oh, I done already had me a college man. Like she thought she was better because she had a college man already. And she was underage, like dating and having sex with older guys in the military and stuff like that. And guys who've been to college. And like, I overheard that this 19-year-old, like her brother-in-law's nephew, that she bragged about dating and sleeping with, that, I heard stories about her being sodomized by him and coming to school crying and complaining that her butt hurts. And they just sat there and allowed this to go on, and Miss Cheryl had no problem with Lanika, a lot of people were silent about all this. From what I heard, I used to see that more than one teacher in junior high, and one of my teachers, that teacher, Miss Dozier, who ended up perping and abusing and hating me too, and allowed other kids to bully me. Miss Dozier used to encourage Lanika to get up and teach the class. They used to allow this is the only child that they allowed to have the authority, like the teacher. And then all the ignorant Project Ghetto dumbass kids try to talk about, oh, Lanika, you explain the slope and slant and the fractions and stuff better than Miss Dozier in the math class or whatever, in the algebra. And we were in 8th grade, and Mr. Clinton Castile, used to he was very well known to be a pervert, and he used to always compare science to sex. I had a female teacher like that, Miss Wood was her last name. I don't remember her first name, but her name is Miss Wood. And I was in my junior year in high school in chemistry. And she used to always, compare sex to science and talk about caress those keys and sock it to me. And I think Miss Wood was a lesbian. Excuse me. She used to talk about caress those keys on the calculator. She used to talk about, because on the scientific calculator, she used to talk about caress those keys and sock it to me and stuff like that, and talk about other perverted kind of stuff. And so Mr. Castile used to talk about all kinds of perverted stuff. And then he used to have Lanika, and I even saw for myself, he used to have Lanika after school and grading papers. And he used to, and Miss Dozier used to do that too. They used to allow Lanika the authority to punish other kids and issue out detention. And she used to take advantage of giving my twin sister detention and then laugh for no reason at all, just picking on and bullying us, and so yeah, the teacher sat there and encouraged Lanika to take their spot and be the teacher. No other child or student got this privilege, and Lanika wasn't even like, well, they said she made good grades in school, but she wasn't a perfect like straight A student, like. So it's like some. And she always got to be the one who got to be the special one, who got to be with all the student with all the popular, like they pre-selected her to have all the popular teachers who, just give out good grades like candy to their popular favorite kids. And when it comes to me, I had to deal with teachers like Mr. Fradella, and who wanted to set us up to fail. Because if I would have had teachers like Miss Sunderland and Miss, what was her name? Miss Kramer and Miss Sunderland and Miss Funches. If I would have had those teachers in high school, I would have definitely made it out higher than 3.7 GPA. I promise you. But Miss Funches wasn't never my personal teacher, but she was one of everybody's favorites because she was really nice. And Miss Kramer was really nice, and so was Miss Sunderland. Miss Sunderland used to sit at the table at lunchtime and eat with me quite often. There was 3 teachers who used to do that. But that teacher, Mr. Totaro, he got hateful and turned against me and started to act really cruel towards me and started to be acting like a narcissistic perp. But before then, Mr. Totaro used to love me. And the foster mom, during my senior year in high school, she used to sneak to the school. And a couple of times I caught her, and sometimes a fake social worker, Ms. Pierce, too, doing business about us behind our back and making decisions about us behind our back without us even knowing. So it's a lot of secret stuff going on around my life that I still don't know. That secrets that they were planning. And so I didn't physically see it, Mr. Castile, do sexual stuff with Lanika, but knowing his pervy mind and the fact that people used to call her hot and stuff like that, and she used to be like Mr. Castile's, like his little slave or something like that. She used to be like his little slave and do anything he said. And I don't even know if he could have briefly been her handler or one of her handlers, or if the 19-year-old guy who was sodomizing her and her come to school crying and complaining that her butt hurts. Excuse me. Yeah, I remember that too. And she used to come to school with a whole bunch of passion marks, hickeys, all over her face and neck and thighs. And Darrell, her brother-in-law, her sister's husband, Darrell, did that to her. And then she tried to play it off and lie and say it was by accident. I don't know. It's just a big disgusting mess. But y'all telling me I'm sick and crazy and need to be locked up and I need help. I need medication. You're not better than me if you got flaws like this. And so, I mean, you think you can laugh ignorantly and laugh at somebody like you think you're superior. So, it's like also, I mean, as I said, Lanika was allowed privileges that no other child was allowed to have. And she was everybody's favorite, but never did anything good in the community. But, she was the number one face of special in the so-called good way. And despite being cruel and torturing people and then ignorantly laugh, people like her and people like my biological nephew Raymond, and a few other people ought to be one of the last people on the face of this earth to have their hands on electronic weapons, directed energy weapons, that the gang stalkers use to torture people and then laugh. You know, a hunger for torturing people and then laugh. And the foster sister Shelley and the biological sister Ramona are the same kind of evil. They need people. They don't need to have, or nobody really needs to have directed energy weapons or electronic torture weapons on their phone or in their hands or anything. And so I mean, if Lanika was having sex and driving at 11 years old, and by her, like Miss Ollie even used to tell me that Lanika would drive from all the way to Texas, and the foster sister Joni too said that Lanika would drive all the way to Texas at 11 years old by herself with no adult supervision. Like she's supposed to be like superhuman and never got caught by the police. Or any other child that's 12 years old. Well, a lot of kids will be like 12 years old driving in New Orleans. But you were able to get away with that back in the 90s. But the way how almost everybody's being surveillance and everything, you can't get away with that nowadays. With 10, 11, and 12-year-olds driving. So, but I'm 37 and blocked and prevented from driving. Something that just eat me up every day. Now I wish I could drive. I mean, I have a license, and my license, from what I know, my license is not. My license is not suspended, or I don't have any trouble on my license. But how they allowed to just get away with so much stuff, and nothing happens to them, like they're invincible. But any other average citizen, being locked up behind bars, and they're not even celebrities. They're not even famous. And how they also used to allow Lanika to be the manager of the track team. But anybody else who's the manager of the track team or volleyball, they allow her to kept her as the manager of the cheerleading team. And Lanika used to use cheerleading. That's why I used to call them the slutty cheerleaders. She even basically admitted to me years ago when we were still in junior high or something, cheerleading was her access to boys. And the slutty cheerleaders and the greedy ass whole fucking football players always go hand in hand. And sometimes the basketball players too. But it's like I've heard a couple of stories about other girls, who got, ran through by the whole football team in one evening, and the whole school knew about it. But this is one whore that you better not dare speak out against. You better not dare speak out about her. But then the foster sister Shelley one time told me that about when we were in 8th grade and there was a big talk about Lanika being hot and the whore and everything. And Shelley said, she turned to me and said that boys know when girls are hot or whatever, or when they're a whore or whatever. So it's like I just try my best to stay to myself, and I'm not saying I think I'm better or anything like that. I mean, as a person, but I do, stay modest and stay to myself, and been violated and taken advantage of. But I never seek to go out and, seek out people to prey on and have sex with, and trying to find grown men to seduce when I'm a child. I never did that. And when y'all think y'all better than me and call me retarded and crazy and all these nicknames. And so I remember also hearing a story about how Miss Cheryl, how a man had sodomized her in the butthole. And I'm like, what's this big talk about, being done in the booty hole? And so it supposedly happened bad enough that Miss Cheryl ended up in she ended up in the hospital, having to go to the hospital because the guy, you know, injured her so bad by sodomizing her, and she had to go to the hospital. That was so embarrassing. And then I heard about that, and then I heard that Mr. Linwood wanted to get the husband wanted to get a divorce, and Michelle, she just sleazy. And if you see her nowadays, Michelle, she should be like almost 70 years old and try to act like she delusionally believes she's a 19-year-old thug, and nobody can tell her, well, you look like a clown, or you look silly, or her confidence is too high or whatever, that nobody can shut her down. And when she thinks that she's so high and think she can still try to dress all young and everything, and still just loud mouth and loose and everything like that. But it's like, I wonder why the foster mom used to force us to hang with them. Why the foster mom used to force us to hang with them being those type of people, and they were the only ones we were restricted to hang with. The foster mom didn't even want my twin sister hanging around that girl Rayenda, and there was a talk about Rayenda being fast and hot and a whore, and Rayenda had that albino brother Adonisty, and Rayenda was more quiet, but they used to say Rayenda was easy. And so even Lanika and Danielle and them, they used to hate Rayenda for no reason and want to fight her. And they supposedly claimed that Rayenda was their cousin but didn't like her and stuff. But Rayenda hated me too. So Rayenda used to perp me too because of my twin sister. And so I'm trying to think about some. I mean, maybe I said enough. Maybe I said too much. I don't know about too much, but maybe I know I said a lot. And so I'm just trying to figure stuff out, trying to piece things together. How if they did all this stuff, and then John Kraft lied at the foster mom and say that it was me doing this and doing that, when I'm just standing at the bus stop minding my business and being quiet. And they falsely accused me of doing this and doing that. And they figure that they can scapegoat and blame me because they figure I'm retarded and defenseless. And they didn't think I could be able to connect dots later. And as I said, they can know and speak and spread all our business. Like Shamela, Lanika's oldest sister, used to tell us about the foster mom's husband, Mr. Terry, cheating on her with light-skinned women, and used to drive by Shamel and Michelle, and them used to drive by their house every day with another woman, or a light-skinned woman, or a white woman, or whatever, have all these different women. And he was a serial cheater, Mr. Terry, and was caught cheating. And then there was a point in time, I used to hate him so much. And there was a point in time, Mr. Terry, the man who used to watch the porn channel at the highest volume. Blackie's wife, the crusty dog, is what I call him. And so there was a point in time I was wondering I wonder if the foster mom, but I think he was a Mason too, and into the occult, because he made it like as if he said he used to play for the Dallas Cowboys, but he had effeminate ways and mannerism in a certain way he talked and stuff. But he had 3 kids, at least 3 kids that we knew of. He was color struck and like only light skinned women with that long pretty hair. And um he used to watch the sex channel at the loudest volume. And he used it's like, so one time I was wondering what was going on. I don't even know if the foster mom put a spell on him. That one time, there was a point in time, like, he kept getting his leg broke. That same leg kept getting broke. And one time he fell down the stairs and busted his head. And he got into a car accident. And bad shit just kept happening to him. And I don't even know if the foster mom was putting witchcraft spell. Even though I hated him so much, and she used him to manipulate and abuse us too. And he was just her puppet, treating us a certain way because she put stuff in his head. Then after we turned 18, he waited till after we turned 18, and well, no, not after we turned 18, but after I moved out. That's when they finally separated. I don't think they ever divorced, the foster mom and Mr. Terry. And I don't think they ever divorced, but they got separated. And then he used to believe in church, and he used to watch church on TV sometimes. And he used to be like, well, all the churches, they lie or whatever. But they weren't tickling his ears and telling him what he wants to hear. But he listened to false preachers on TV. And then he used to force us to go to class, the fake called Bible class, because while everybody's gone, he can have his free opportunity to go and cheat. So he would get mad and punish us and lecture us and aggressively demand an answer for why we won't go to class. And he would push us to go so that everybody can be out the house so he can go and cheat on the foster mom. And then there was a point in time he went to live with his uncle, Turner Brown. Turner Brown used to be our former social worker who hooked the foster mom up with him. So the foster mom got all these, I think she got these Masonic connections, if you know what I mean. And the Kraft family had these Masonic connections. So they're not going to really tell on each other, but, they might snicker and be like, oh, sometimes the Kraft family, like John being messy, would even say the foster mom Ann is crazy herself. But John, you ain't crazy? How come? John, he mannerisms wise, he's masculine, but he's messy and he's messy like a female. And so starting rumors and start make lies about people, and then still stalking and spying on us and reporting stuff back to the foster mom after so many years. It seemed like only a certain amount of Kraft family members. I had to realize not all of them are nosy like that. But back then, we were brainwashed to believe that all of them were so nosy. But come to find out, not all of them are nosy like that. It's just a few of them that's nosy and intrusive and meddlesome, but it's like a lot of big mess. But nah, y'all don't have a right to laugh at and make fun of me. And I'm getting my story out. Because I'm sitting here being gang stalked because of all this. And yep. And it's like Lanika and Danielle would manipulate Joni into doing sexual stuff. And then they were there, like Danielle would take Joni to the pregnancy clinic or the abortion clinic or whatever. And Joni is hiding a lot of secrets and stuff. But it's like Joni was older, an adult, or close to an adult, and was manipulated by these 2 other girls, younger girls, and who were being like abused by men. So I don't even know if this is considered, human trafficking and stuff like that, because I remember, I wish I can go to that church again. This church that I went to, and they had these signs of human trafficking in the bathroom. And I thought I took pictures of it, but I guess I didn't. And they were saying that the signs of human trafficking, it seems like Lanika fits that profile 100%. She always had money, always these men giving her clothes and shoes and nice things, and it seemed like she was controlled and abused and had handlers too. I don't know everything, but it ain't my job to know everything. But as I said, whatever they're doing, and they scapegoat and blame me, and because they think I'm retarded and can't speak up for myself. The foster mom would never allow that. And I would say that John is lying on me. And the foster mom used to get on my case and yell at me and say I should never say that adults are lying, and that she better not ever catch me saying that an adult is lying on me. And I'm like, well, I don't know why the foster mom thinks that adults are perfect and can do no wrong. And the foster mom tried to tell me, make it like every adult that I should do what they tell me to do. That's dangerous advice. That's dangerous advice. And she said, I don't care if Mr. Terry tell you to stand on your head. You better do what he tells you to do. You hear? I don't care if he tells you to suck his dick. You better do what he tells you to do. You hear? So I'm like, whoa, like, and so but then when I became an adult, the foster boys were allowed to say I'm lying when I'm telling the truth. They were allowed to abuse, perp me, and gang stalk. And like the foster mom brought some of the foster boys in as more narcissistic supply, plus more money. And the mentally normal ones who she favored weren't required to go to the fake cult Bible class meetings. But the ones who were kind of like mentally disabled are the ones who she hated and were forced to go to the fake IDMR cult sessions or whatever. Excuse me. And so her biological kids and grandkids weren't forced to go, but the foster kids she didn't like were forced to go to the fake cult Bible class meetings. And so, even Miss Jennifer, fake Kevin Gugis from the fake cult Bible class, used to bully, harass, and laugh at me, treat me mean, ignore me for no reason at all. And Miss Jennifer used to repeat some of the same stuff that the foster mom said, and say that they're not going to cater to you, huh? They're not going, because the foster mom used to tell me, nobody's going to cater to you. But you got everybody catered to you, Adrian Felder. And so, even Kevin Gugis acted like another John Kraft with starting rumors and lies and stuff like that. Rumors and lies about me. And one time, I was in first grade going on second. I was 6 going on 7 years old, and they had a fake IDMR cult picnic at Mellot Park in Gretna. And it was raining, and I accidentally slipped and fell in the mud and got very muddy and dirty. And the foster mom didn't say anything, and she saw it. But then once Kevin said something, that's when the foster mom yelled at me and said something to me, and then whipped me really bad when I got home. We weren't allowed to be a normal kid. We got punished for being like a normal kid. We were deprived from normalcy, deprived from any social life or any friends. But at the same time, kept overly sheltered like a prison. Never allowed to go anywhere or do anything. And the foster mom had us on these medicines that are proven to manipulate you into acting aggressive, and I think that a lot of grudges and bitterness between me and my twin sister were as a result of these psych medications that make you mind control you into being aggressive and fight. If it weren't, and we probably could have loved each other more, and we probably couldn't have had to, you know. But this was all designed and planned, and the foster mom was waiting to take our money that was entitled to us that we deserved. She even took Joni's money. She took Joni's brother James' money too. And James doesn't hate her. Joni doesn't hate her. They'll still respect and honor the foster mom. But at the same time, they hate me and want nothing to do with me because I'm retarded, according to what they feel like, or because I'm slow, or, and me calling myself trying to take up for and defend, Joni and my twin sister about Lanika and the other Kraft family members manipulating them into sexual promiscuity. I'm glad they didn't do it to me, but they thought I was crazy and didn't want me to know too much. And I must have been targeted probably even before that situation, but my life wasn't made a living. I mean, I was treated mean and treated with abuse, but my life wasn't made a living hell until after the foster mom said that it's my fault that she couldn't say her last words to her mother. And now I have to live with this for the rest of my life. With that, Lanika and Danielle and my twin sister and the foster sister Joni were threatening me not to tell about that night. So, I mean, I think I'm done talking about, the Kraft family. And I'm going to continue to think about writing fiction books based on truth, and think about continuing to publish my other nonfiction book. But I'm not going to publish an autobiography. I think I'm going to just continue to just talk, make YouTube videos, talking about my life. That's true to the best of what I remember. And so, I mean, I'm just, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if any other targeted individuals are talking about documenting their life story, about how and why they became targeted. Some targeted individuals feel more passionate than others about exposing the gang stalking or Freemason, the police, FBI, DHS, fusion centers, everything that has to do with it. And some people just suffer in silence or too scared. I'm one of those people who's too scared, but I guess I got some guts to a degree. And I really think that the privileges that Lanika and the freebies that Lanika would get in life, now other people wouldn't be allowed to get. What 11-year-old goes to proms with 19-year-olds or 12, 13, however old, and everybody in the neighborhood knows about it but turn a blind eye. But the foster mom, Adrian Felder, she threatened to report me for child abuse for feeding Joni's daughter, India. I fed Joni's daughter a small piece of Hershey's candy bar. A small piece. And the foster mom threatened to she threatened to report me for child abuse. But you drug us up to a zombie on fucking medication. And I'm going to tell y'all, I don't know if I mentioned this before in my videos, but that teacher, Miss Pilar Babuena, the Spanish teacher, thought I died my sophomore year in high school. It was a half day of school. They had me on Buspar, Clonidine, and Luvox. And I felt that same feeling. My and I just went home like normal. It didn't even cross my mind to go to the hospital or tell the foster mom. But I guess when you're medicated and everything, it's like you can't connect dots and see truth. But I guess I was able to see some things. But Miss Valbrena cried. I woke up to Miss Valbrena crying and throwing a fit because Miss Valbrena thought I died on a half day of school because she thought I died because I couldn't wake up from those psych medication. I don't even think I took an overdose. I don't think I did because I was taking that medicine the same dosages and the same time every day. And one day I just couldn't wake up and she thought I died. And oh man. And then it's like the more I spoke out against the foster mom being abusive to me, I used to write letters to the counselors and then ended up feeling like the counselors used to make false promises not to tell. And then used to go back and report and the foster mom used to find out. And I felt like, well, I don't even have the counselors to turn to. The counselors are fake. Miss Joanne Elfer was fake counselor. And that other teacher, Miss Milner, I don't remember her first name. But I remember she was a tall, skinny lady in junior high, Miss Milner. And they even turned against me and betrayed me. Can't trust school counselors. And then it's like the abuse got worse. And the more I spoke up and the more I spoke out, they got worse. And then Miss Pierce, the fake social worker Karen Pierce, the hardcore Butch Mandyke, who was able to afford to always be on vacation. The worst social worker ever. They said this black social worker named Miss Nancy Grossly was pretty bad. And Miss Deverne Elliott. The good social workers got taken out. Like, not killed, but they lost their job like really quick. So the foster mom was hoping to turn Miss Osana Hamilton against me and Miss Cherry Williams and some of these other good social workers. But the ones who probably took up for us, it's like they didn't last long. Miss Connie John wasn't the worst social worker, but she was like in between, good and bad. But Miss Karen Pierce, white lady from Alabama, the worst fucking devil ever. She conspired with the foster mom to take our money. I shouldn't have to live in poverty. Whatever happened to you go to college and you get a degree and you guaranteed to get a damn good job, a high paying job everywhere you go, the more education you have. Not when it comes to Candy Grand Prix. Lanika Simeon, you ruined my fucking life, ho. And you think that shit is funny. Adrian Felder, you ruined my fucking life. IDMR cult, you ruined my fucking life. Freemasonry, Gretna police, y'all ruined my fucking life. The Grand Prix family, friends of the family, the Garnett family, the Harvey family, you ruined my fucking life. West Jefferson High School, Nicholls State University, Gretna Junior High, McDonough 26, Gretna number 2, University of New Orleans. You ruined my fucking life. And they still, to this day, sit there and just fucking laugh. The Stankin' Crab family, you ruined my fucking life. And this shit is funny to y'all. Candy Grand Prix's demise is funny to y'all. that that y'all just hate me and wish me fucking dead. Foster family, the whole foster family, Collins, Felder, or whatever, whoever's related. You ruined my fucking life. Collins, Felder, Modelist, yeah. Williams, Mathis, and then friends of the family. All y'all evil. But I'm glad that I found out the truth. And I'm sorry for my mouth. But I found my path to the narrow way, the truth. And any hurt that I did to anybody in the past years ago when I was little and didn't know any better, or even a teenager and didn't know any better or didn't know it was wrong because it was done to me, I apologize. I'm sorry I hurt y'all. I sincerely apologize. And I did, pray and cry out to God and ask him to forgive me of my sins and repented. I'm not going to walk around nowadays and, kick the pet dog. Like if I would be in third grade and I kick the pet dog for no reason or something. Or step on a cat's tail. I mean, I wasn't the only one cruel to animals when I was younger. But I'm glad I woke up and found out that I would never do that again. And other, little kids and me be at school and bite another child. I didn't know because I was being abused and didn't know it was wrong because I was being, told that I deserved this. And the nursery people, the daycare, the learning tree, you ruined my freaking life. So, I mean, Dr. Chakraborty, Pizza Face Dr. Wilson, Dr. Daruna, all your psychiatrists and mental health people, case managers, social workers, psychiatrists, psychologists, mental health counselors, you ruined my fucking life. No help at all. No help. Nobody. I'm all alone. Just suffering. Crying out for help. The only help is Jesus. The only help is the Bible. But I would like to wake others up from these atrocities that must be put to an end. These narcissistic abusers who delusionally believe that they're better than perfect, but yes, you're flawed too. The way the foster mom raised us does not, and the way we were taught in school, did not match up with what the Bible, the King James Version of the Bible says. And so, all my dreams and wishes are in life. Forget career. Forget a lot of money. Forget a big house. Forget all of that. But it's like the system is set up where we need money to survive. But all I care about is a car and a house. I mean, a small, tiny little single cottage will do. I don't like apartments. I hate cold weather. I don't like the West Coast. But a small little house, even if it's a tiny house, a little house, I'm fine with a little house. A little house where I can have peace and quiet. Or an RV where I can have peace and quiet and solitude. That's all I ask. Not asking for too much. The money that I was entitled to, the future and career that I was entitled to, gone. And I was supposed to deserved to be punished. They acted like as if they punished me in advance. That in the future, I would be prevented from going on this field trip or to this dance or prom because you're going to cut up. You're going to misbehave. That's like predictive programming. Like, oh no, you and Brandy can't go to Joe's wedding because y'all gonna cut up and fuss and fight. But I can't believe that the foster sister Shelley defended. Shelley, I'm surprised that one time she defended me. Um, and Joe was another one, a narcissistic abuser or a cruel sociopath with multiple wives. Like, you can't even stay married, and the foster mom Ann can't stay married. Narcissistic Mildred Mathis Zabel or whatever your last name is now can't stay married. Narcissistic abusers. And the women, even in the biological family, the younger woman ruling, boss, control, and overrule the older husband and make the final decision and wear the pants in the house. Make all the rules in the house. When you hear about the woman kicked the man out. So it's bizarre. I didn't realize we grew up in an environment or a life that's not normal. And kind of find out the whole world is not normal. And that's why I call it the psych world. The psych world. Because this world is not normal. We all have gone so far astray that we live opposite. We live in Satanism, basically. If we live opposite, and I know it is hard, especially trying to undo the programming and undo what we were brainwashed and taught. And a lot of us live in fear, including me. If we try to undo the programming or unravel the programming, all the Hollywood media and other media constantly bombard us with lies. TV commercials. They promote fast food and pharmaceuticals commercials more than they do farmers markets and growing your own food. And they don't even teach us in school. They lie to us and say we have a well-rounded education, and they teach us useless stuff that don't even pertain to us, and then make it mandatory. Like, what does Western civilization, European history, full of lies have to do with me? If it's lies and they rewrite history. And so we're not taught how to survival skills, because they want us to go down and be helpless for the New World Order. They want us to be helpless for the New World Order and go down and be brainwashed and be kept from the Bible and take that chip so we all can be damned to hell forever. A lot of us targeted individuals are microchipped. I don't even know about myself, but a lot of us are microchipped without our consent. It's not fair at all. And tortured and harassed. We're dying. And our voices, it's like as if we're not important. And then it's a fucked up shame that targeted individuals do each other so fucking dirty. Dirty. Cruel to and stump on each other. There's no unison or unity or coming together. It's all about that fake T.I. perp cult that's counterfeit of the people who are truly suffering. The fake T.I. perp cult who criminally, illegally, and undeservingly glorify themselves as part of this 144,000 and think they're the shit, think they're better. But they are some adrenochrome and blood drinking sellouts like everybody, like all the elite. And so human trafficking, and so I wish I could try to be a voice for the ones who are hurting and can't speak out. We target individuals forced against our will to live in an invisible cage, an invisible prison, invisibly muzzled. And then they have nerve to shit on us more and mock us and encourage you and direct you to go kill yourself so that they can get insurance policy money. Why are people crying for money now and our money system is soon to be obsolete? Don't you see the signs? The fake coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is set in place on purpose so that it's set in place on purpose so that it can be a good justification of making money obsolete, and so they can microchip us, the perfect scenario, so they can microchip us and put the mark of the beast in us. And the world about to go crazy soon. It's frightening. I feel like I'm not even ready or prepared. And me being a single homeless female with no vehicle, I don't know where to go in the woods. Some people say you should go flee to the woods or flee to the wild or flee to the woods before everything goes down. That we should have fled this country. But they're going to get us all anyway. The whole entire world. They're going to get every country. They're going to get us all. So, I think I've said enough. More than enough. But I'm glad I got this off my chest. And I'm not talking crazy. Targeted individuals, please stop dismissing each other. Unless they're proven to be a fake TI perp. That's when you dismiss them. And shun them and expose their asses for being a wolf in sheep's clothing and counterfeit. You're not going to tell me I'm chosen, I'm full of light, and then turn around and treat me like everything I do or say is wrong. You are highly intelligent. You're chosen by God. I can tell you have the light, girl. But you treat me like everything I do or say is wrong or stupid or the worst decision ever. Like I don't use my common sense. Well, a person that holy or righteous wouldn't need to be told what to do and ordered around 24/7, 365 or 366. So I'm going to go now. And I'm surprised if anybody listens. But just know that I'm not lying. I'm not over-exaggerating my life story. I'm not lying or over-exaggerating. I'm not crazy. And they even treated my biological brother, Sean, with a certain kind of hatred, too. And the biological family brainwashed Sean and lied and said that I was the one out to hurt him and have Sean worshiping them and hating my guts. And I'm not even allowed to explain myself. They got in his head so heavy. And plus they probably put voodoo and witchcraft on him too. To make him, I'm not allowed to be close with not one family member. Not allowed to have family. Family has done me so dirty and I'm hated by everybody. That family's not important to me no more. Now, I'm the crazy one that I don't value. As much as I want to get married and have kids and have my own family, family is not important to me anymore. I don't value family anymore because I'm not allowed to have my own family and husband and kids. And then, I'm not allowed to have any family. Drunk lady Yvonne yelling at me said, "You have no family! You have no family!" So, not allowed to have family. So, I'm going to go now and bye-bye.